Wow, oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll never believe the way Tayna ended up back with Hank. But he was already out of breath from a bullet wound. The school called in the sheriff, the principal asked for backup, and the sheriff found out Tayna's friend was history. He asked the priest how he died, and the priest took her to the school cemetery. The kids were gone, and those hunters were scarier than a pack of wolves. Are you willing to be arrested? The sheriff quickly agreed and dragged the priest along for the ride. Meanwhile, Tayna's father found her. Even though she was all bruised up, father and daughter decided to hit the road because they knew more white folks were on their tail, so they grabbed the guy and bolted. They planned to head south to another Indian tribe while the principal and sheriff were hot on their trail. First, they found a priest with his scalp removed, a classic white guy revenge. When they got to Hank's place, they spotted two more priest spotters. His belly was tattooed with child killer, but they found no sign of any baddies around, so they decided to head north to Canada. Thousands of miles south, they failed to find relatives, so they hopped a train. The man drank whiskey, radiating manliness. Nearby, all the rich girls were utterly captivated by him, and the girl immediately recognized him as an American, secretly marveling at the discovery. She was dressed like a Western cowboy, totally blending in with the wild African scenery was a deadly attraction for a girl from London. When she found out the guy's name was Spencer, she was totally smitten. I mean, he's a war hero turned famous hunter. Hunting big game in Africa, legend has it he can wrestle leopards barehanded. What girl wouldn't fall for that? The chemistry between them was like fireworks. But her friend couldn't take it anymore and dragged her away because she was getting hitched to someone else tonight. Sure, her fiancé was an earl, and he was a match for her, but she wasn't interested in him one bit. Slipping out of the engagement due for air, she ran into tipsy Spencer, couldn't help chatting, and learned he was leaving next day. Alyssa felt a pang of sadness as the gap between their hearts instantly closed. Truly, sparks were flying between them. Alexandra, Spencer mumbled to himself as he was about to leave. He saw Alyssa amidst the crowd, knowing they were worlds apart, just sharing a longing glance. But just a few steps later, Alyssa suddenly spotted someone running behind the car. Was there room for one more? Oh, no room. I'm glowing, Alexandra drive. Look at me. If you don't want me here, I can just leave. I'm headed for danger, you know. Finding the one you truly love. Now that truly is a whole new way to die, isn't it? Spencer took Alyssa east, soaking in the beauty of the African savannah, and they were getting closer by the minute. I'm proposing. That's a promise. You're an American woman now. Yep, that's me. But the feeling of happiness is so fleeting and precious. Just when the woman was tearing up over the proposal, Spencer's driving took a sharp turn. Time to find a spot. But before they could hit restore, they ducked under the car, holding their breath so awkward. It wasn't until the elephant finally left that they cautiously crawled out, only to discover a dead elephant nearby. Talk about bad luck. They definitely wouldn't reach camp before dark, so they climbed a tree to pray for just one more night of safety. Just then, the dead elephant attracted a pride of 5 lions. They held their breath, while the rival predator, oh boy, it was about to be a showdown. Alyssa's scream caught the lion's attention. Luckily, Spencer's shooting skills scared off the other beasts. However, the lion family was clearly not intending to budge, despite Spencer having a gun in his hand. Alyssa was terrified and wanted to go home to Mummy. Luckily, the rescue team heard the shots and came to the rescue. The honeymoon phase had just begun, and as soon as they got in the car, they shook off the day's drama and burst into laughter. Alyssa made Spencer forget about the war's ghosts, and together they craved a lifetime of heavenly bliss. Until that very day, Alyssa stumbled upon a stack of letters, much to her astonishment. After probing, Spencer admitted they were family letters. His war life was perilous. In order not to be disturbed by his homesickness, he was always cautious and never dared to open the letters. Alyssa decided to help him break free by reading the letters aloud, one by one, in chronological order. That night seemed as if time was flowing backwards, bringing a flood of cherished family memories rushing back to mind. Spencer seemed to get lost in those memories as well, deeply immersed. Your brother was killed. By the time you get the letter, your uncle might be gone too. Your sister has been harmed. Those letters hit like a bolt from the blue. It struck Spencer awake. The date on the letter was 3 months ago, and he was far away. Heartbroken, Spencer decided to return to Montana immediately, embracing his family legacy. His father was James Dutton, the legendary guy mentioned in the royal records, who arrived in 1883. Not long after, he died in a shootout with horse thieves, leaving behind only his wife and 2 young kids. So, his wife wrote to his little brother, Jacob, who came over with his wife from Scotland to help out. By the moment Jacob finally arrived, unfortunately, his wife had already passed away, and through a span of 40 years of diligent management, the royal farm ultimately grew to become one of the largest in Montana. His nephew John's son was named Jack, and he had reached the appropriate age to discuss marriage. Little nephew Spencer fought in World War but never returned home due to trauma. Having hung out with beasts for years, the entire western ranch was now filled with dead cattle and sheep, so Jacob opted to move the herd to higher ground. Jacob's conflicts led to family disaster, with a brave soul always asking for trouble. He dared to cause trouble at the royal farm, and Jack wasn't having it. He strung him and his crew up on a tree, daring them to mess with him again.